you know about tragedy? You know about this?
Shooting.
Before your time.
Shot my shot and I hit Mars. Every minute, every hour, every second.
Long few months, a long year. It's been interesting.
This year's gone so quick, but it also feels like it's kicked my ass.
I feel like, it's just been
No, how else this happened?
long. But you ready?
I'm ready, man.
Everyone, welcome to episode 8. We have a little bit of surprise for you. This is actually the season finale. Yes. So it's our last season for now. We'll obviously be back it's our last episode for now. We'll obviously be back in the future with more planned and more guests, etc. And if you guys have feedback on who you want us to get on the show or what you want to see on the show, what topics you want us to talk about, etc., that's completely fine. Send that through. The first season was kind of like a trial to see how we would run things and stuff, and we've kind of got a system in place. So, ending the season and then having a bit of a break gives us a bit of time to come back better and stronger for season 2 with more of a polished look as well. Hopefully, we're improving. I feel like we've improved over the course of this podcast.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think from the first episode to now, it's a lot more fluid. And the thing is, we're not trying as hard to plan either as well. And that's probably the best part is when we first started, we were looking at all these podcasts and comparing how can we make this incredible, only to realize we just had to have a chat and do our own thing. And that seemed to work perfectly for us.
For sure. I might add that as well, actually. You guys in the last episode did request my brother to come back as a co-host, so that also could happen in the future. Not sure yet. We'll see. But he definitely will be on the show more, at least, for those of you that enjoyed him being on. I didn't enjoy him being on, but if you guys do, we're at your mercy, I guess.
It's family things, isn't it? It is definitely a family thing.
Legit. I hate that guy, but they like him, so apparently I have to spend more time with him. God.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
It's
been a great season. We've got through a lot of key topics, and kind of the overarching topic was, developing as a man into your masculinity and, overcoming challenges, being on your grind, understanding your purpose, understanding what you're trying to achieve. And we thank our guests along the way that have come and shared their stories and given us insight into how they've been able to improve things in their lives. Ben, do you want to give us one thing that you've learned from our guests?
I've learned a lot, so it's really difficult to find one thing that's really stood out. But I'd probably say just overcoming obstacles in the sense of it doesn't get easier. You just get better at learning to deal with things. That's probably the best way I can put it is, especially with what Kieran was saying, and then Max touched on it as well, is it's not all sunshines and rainbows. And then there's a bigger plan out there. So you can't actually plan for everything to go perfect. So there's always going to be obstacles, and it's how you refocus and channel your energy into finding positives rather than the negatives.
For sure.
Yeah, it's probably the best thing
I agree with
I've
that.
stuck with.
And that flows on to something that I've learned, I'm kind of grateful for both Lucas's and PJ's input, and they kind of flowed onto that and talked about being comfortable in uncomfortable situations. They might not have said that exactly directly, but that's what they were alluding to, with PJ moving, and then also Lucas having to be in environments where, he wants to do his friends want him to do certain things, certain activities that aren't good for him in the life he wants to lead. And it's uncomfortable navigating those boundaries, especially at a young age. But he's really been able to say, actually, this is what I'm about. This is who I am. This is what I need to do. And so those lessons kind of stuck out to me when we had those guests on the show.
Yeah, Lucas.
Pretty excited for
telling us about.
Oh yeah, you go say.
Massive. Yeah, Lucas telling us about those little sacrifices, and it doesn't seem like such a big deal, just like missing out on one or two things here and there. But it was every weekend and stuff for him that he was missing out on great activities or going out and having fun. But now he's living the life he wanted. and can go out and have fun with people who are in the same boat. So they're not all missing out in the same sense. So that was really good to hear from as well. So big shout out to Lucas, who's back in the squad as well now, playing. Getting assists.
What a man.
That's what I like to see.
What a legend.
What a man.
Yeah, I think big shout out to all our guests. You know what I mean? Like even hearing David's story last week, we've had Lucas, we've had your dad, we've had Max, we've had Kieran. Is that everyone? We've had PJ as well. I think that's everyone.
We've had some pretty decent peeps, haven't we?
Am I forgetting someone? If I am, they're probably irrelevant. So that's probably why we forgot them. But
yeah, whoops.
Okay, so we started. Kieran. Your dad? Max? Lucas? PJ David?
PJ. Yes.
Yes. That's got to be right. Someone check
I think that is. Yeah, that is it. That is it.
Yeah. I have a good memory.
Somebody comment if we're actually right here, because Emeka and I are both very busy people and can barely remember the time of day.
Yeah, we were literally even just talking about it. It's been like a crazy year so far, as I'm sure it has been for you who's listening right now. There's been a lot going on, a lot we've been trying to navigate, especially trying to understand even how to just consistently deliver content and be active and all those sort of things that we're trying to learn. But we're definitely going to, look at even adding to our team and those sorts of things for an exciting season 2. Ben, what's to come in season 2? What do you want to see in season 2?
Well, season 2, we have a couple of guests that, one was actually meant to be on season 1, but he ended up training for quite a big fight. So we had to put him on the back burner for a bit. But David Pennenpede, he's going to make an appearance when he's not busy. So he might not ever come on.
Yeah. It's like
bloody busy man.
No, it's the irony though. It's the irony of like,
Yeah, so we got Hugh as well, like I just said. He's coming off a very big fight as well. So, and he actually runs a podcast as well. So, yeah, he'll be really interesting to get on board with. And there's one more thing that I don't think I want to say out loud just yet that we've discussed early on. That's the one thing we discussed early on.
Oh, we've got to keep that one. We've got to keep that one secret.
Are we going to keep this one a little bit quiet just for a tad?
Maybe we'll leak out some teasers closer to the start of season 2. We're coming back at an unknown date as well. We will announce that later. We're keeping that secret too. But it's what I was going to say before. It's the irony of trying to like have guests that are like on their drive about their purpose is they're busy people. And we're busy people as well because we're living that out as well. So sometimes it's a bit difficult because we have a lot to do, they have a lot to do, et cetera, et cetera. So that's been one of the challenges that we've even had to overcome this season. But it's good because, it also just backs up what we talk about and we see it in different facets of our life of that same, consistent needing to overcome challenges, overcome struggles, get past things, work on things, build on things, improve yourself, grow, learn, and really try and take lessons and advice on board as well. One thing that I had to do, especially when I was younger, is just learn to slow things down and try and like actually understand what people are saying to me and actually understand what they're getting at and try and see that bigger picture. And so I'm very grateful for the advice that I've got, not just in this season, but also in all seasons of my life. That was deep. Yep, facts. No, I'm playing. No, but also in all seasons of my life.
Emotional roller coaster. Here we go.
Yeah. No, where people have just been there, supported me, and just given me good life lessons and things that I can use to build off and improve myself. And I hope that you as a listener has been able to do that in this season and been able to pick out key lessons. And if you guys can even give us feedback on which episode you liked and what you guys have learned and the lessons you've been able to even share with friends, colleagues, etc., about the things you've learned. That really helps us as well, because we can then refine the messages we're giving to you. We can then go deeper in different aspects of avenues that you guys want to understand and want to learn about.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's the one thing that I've noticed about our audience as well has been, I wasn't there for 2 episodes and I got 7 or 8 messages saying, hey, is everything okay? Like, why haven't you been on there? And for me, that was quite a big deal, actually. I didn't think it was at the start. I was like, oh, okay. People just might be nosy, But yeah, people were actually genuinely concerned because of how it's been ran and what we speak about. So for us two to miss stuff, or for us to take that little hiatus in February as well, yeah, people were actually concerned and reaching out. So yeah, really appreciate that as well.
Yeah, it's been a very supportive, engaging community. We've really had a lot of support from our audience, and people have given us good advice. People have given us good tips that we're definitely going to try and implement more in season 2 as well. We're very excited for season 2.
Season 2, big Tings Coming ×2.
That's what it is. I was looking for a word. You know how, like, on a TV show, right, you have the pilot, and normally the pilot kind of sucks. This was our pilot. It wasn't too bad.
But
I think we did well.
Ours didn't suck.
Yeah, ours didn't suck, actually, yeah. Ours didn't suck, yeah, tough. No, but season 2, it's going to be bigger, better, more enjoyable, and thing is as well, Ben and I, one thing I'll leak as well is Ben and I have discussed the idea of, traveling to different places and meeting up with people face to face and that to give you guys kind of just more of a dynamic, inclusive podcast, I guess. And, we'll even be like recording events, like different events we go to and that kind of stuff. So you guys can really engage more and really just stay focused and connected. And, because I feel like one thing that we did struggle with a bit is just keeping that connection constant. Like, obviously me and Ben, we do have a lot to do because we do not just work, but then we also have other ventures as well. So it is difficult, but we're going to try and work on that. And as we said, add more people to the team so that we can really just get a more solid, consistent connection with you guys. Yeah.
And that's the thing about building this into something bigger every week. That's the plan. Is we want this podcast to be inclusive to everyone, but also at the same time, we genuinely want, and in a way need, feedback constantly. And that way we can tailor it to you guys, because we can sit here and have a chat about what we think is good. But at the end of the day, you guys are the one tuning in for a reason. Let us find your reason why, and let us actually explore that in complete and utter depth that's needed.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, big or small, your opinion is valued, your opinion is appreciated. And as Ben said, we really do need those contributions. We need people saying, you know what, this is actually really good, but actually, nah, that part, we didn't really relate with that part or whatever. And we'll just really just hammer down and nail things and get things really good for you, the individual, because we're trying to improve ourselves. We're also trying to improve people in this community. And it's, one episode at a time, one step at a time. And the great thing about, our story sharing platform is that, you get to see people's stories from different avenues and different lenses, and you get to hear about things that you never even thought you'd hear about before, and connect with people from people all over Australia that you never even would have met before or heard of before even. And you get to see how other people live their life and what they're doing and how that's led to their success and how that's led to the area or realm that they're dominating in today. Yeah.
And I think that's a pretty cool thing as well, is who we've had on the show. And a lot of people in Australia don't know much about Muay Thai, but then quite a lot do as well. So we had people tuning in who were big Muay Thai fans, when they heard that Kieran and Max were on there. But then I had random people message me and go, holy shit, like these two are like really big in the sport. Like, how have you got that? And then now they've watched the episode. They've watched Max and Kieran on Instagram. They've Googled them. They're now following them on Instagram. It's kind of like, that's quite cool, actually. We've now formed a connection somewhere else. So
for sure,
that's something I'm really passionate
100% agree with that. Yeah, building community, developing people. That's another thing. Like I've had people in my world as well that are just like, oh, I didn't even know about Muay, but it actually seems pretty cool. And like, they don't even do Muay or whatever, but they're even interested in Kieran's gym now as well and stuff like that. I'm like, wow, like I didn't even realize that would have that impact on people. I'm like, yeah, this is cool, but like, I thought that people just take the story at face value and not really be interested in kind of the background as well for people who don't really know like Muay Thai that well. Yeah. So I'm like, wow, like, people are really keen on Kieran's gym and, the Muay Thai culture and all that just from us having Kieran and Max on the show. And I've had a lot of people as well come up to me and talk about Lucas and they're like, oh, we didn't realize that professional athletes don't train all day, every day. Because with Lucas, we were talking about how that's that fake facade. Yeah, I was like, oh, really? Like,
everyone expects him to do that.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, I didn't realize, like, and that's the thing. That's why we need that feedback, because it's like stuff that we thought was just like a normal thing that people knew turns out to be like a big thing for people. But then some things that we've said that we thought were a big thing, other people are like, oh, no, that's not really, and that's really why we love getting your opinions and feedback, because then we've realized, oh, okay, like we can expand on this point and expand on that point and really just fill you guys in with the information that you want to know. Yeah.
And back onto that topic with Lucas saying he's living the dream. He trains once in the morning, once in the afternoon, does his own recovery and stuff like that. And he's doing a degree as well at the same time. And I had somebody come up to me and say, he's a professional athlete and he only trains like a couple of hours a day. Like, what? And I was like at the same time, that's a physical thing as well that they're doing. Plus, imagine if they did train 9 to 5. You physically couldn't do that.
You can't do that.
It was just really interesting watching people go, oh, yeah, it makes sense now. I didn't think about it like that. And Hector Bellerin did a documentary and he made the comment.
We're going to get him in season 2, by the way.
Oh, I would fall in love. That guy's idol. He is idol 101. Pure pace.
I'm joking. I don't think we could get him. But yeah, he is
pure pace and a dirty mo. Oh, he's idol. But anyway, back onto another subject. So I completely forgot what I was saying. Yeah, right.
Oh, cool. Wow. You were saying you're watching him on another show.
Oh, yeah. So he made a comment about people expect us to live and breathe football because that's what they do. And he goes, but I don't expect you to finish your office job, go home and watch stuff on how to be better at your office job. He's like, but you expect me to go and do this because on a weekend, that's what you look forward to. So I have to then live my life to make you happy. No, I want to go out and take photos of dolphins. I want to go out and do this. And I was listening to him going, that's a very good point. Like, you don't just constantly do football. You have other adventures and other passions and other hobbies. Yeah. And that's your escape from that because it's still a job. It may be that's the thing. It's still a job.
That's what people forget, and they're like, oh, well, they have a massive salary. That means they're super talented and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, like, first of all, they do have a big salary, but that's depending on other factors, like it's depending on their advertising, it's depending on how popular the league is, et cetera, and that's not to take away from their talent at all. But for example, you have players in Australia that get paid a lot less than players in the UK, and it's not like there's a massive, ginormous talent gap. There are very talented people at all levels, in this sport. But I think sometimes as well, people think because they're getting paid so much, they have to just be doing this 24/7. But it's like, as you were saying, it is just a job, and even in your workplace, you'll see that different people have different levels of interest in that job. Like some people, like, this is a job I've always wanted to do. And some people like, they're just there. And also what they say about football and athletics in general is that the sport back pays you, because really when you're younger, you're having to do so much work to get into that, you know, highly skilled profession, which is football, or, you know, whereas I'm not saying that you don't do hard work to be a lawyer or even to be, you know, a ballet. Why do I always say ballet dancer? But to be a ballet dancer, do you know? But the thing is, yeah. But the thing is, right? You have to do your normal duties as a human, like go to school, etc., and then put in hours and hours and hours to get to a good level in football. And then you get paid when you're doing really well, you know? So it's not as easy as people think it is. And sometimes you just get burnt out from like trying so hard at something, and then you get there and you're like, okay, I'm here, I'm fine. Like, I don't need to keep pushing myself so much. It doesn't need to. And that's a hard thing for footballers and people in those environments. It's a 24/7 job. You can't just go out to a bar and be like causing a scene and then go play on the weekend, because people are expecting, because you're on TV, people are expecting you to be a role model. People are expecting you to carry yourself well and with respect and influence, etc., etc. So it's actually not as easy as it looks.
Well, No, not at all. And that's a big thing, even in football, like locally as well. You see how many people can go out Thursday, Friday, Saturday and play on a Sunday, but they're not getting paid. They're doing it because they want to play football. But imagine if you saw on a Friday night, let's say Lucas Ronaldo was going out drinking, and then went and played the next day, you'd go, does he not take his job seriously? But it's okay for you to go drinking on Wednesday night and go to work hungover. But why is that okay? Because you're not on a massive screen. So
where people like put in, as you were saying with Bellerin, as you were saying with him, you know, where people, because the thing is as well, football's on the weekend, so people are waiting to the weekend for their team to play, and they have so much, you know, joy and passion, and etc.
That's what they look forward to every week. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Whereas footballers do look forward to playing football, but they actually look forward to doing other things with their life as well. You know, like the similar things that you want to do, going to Dubai, you know, going to Manchester to watch a fight. Shout out to Max. Or, you know, just all these different things that we get to do in our lives. They want to do similar things, but they have restrictions on their life because of the profession that they've chosen. So it's not really as easy as it looks. It's that the grass is greener on the other side, and, you know, the same human nature thing as well. You always want what you can't have. Yeah,
no, exactly. And people just need to take a step back from that as well and realize we're all human. We all have different interests, and we all just want to have fun as well. Like, don't get me wrong, everyone wants to appreciate the grind and work hard and stuff, but as Kieran said, you don't need to constantly be on that. If you want to watch Netflix at 10:30, watch Netflix at 10:30. Like, it doesn't matter. Just do what you can. Do what you want to do.
Legit.
That's what the state with me as well is. I don't constantly need to be working, training, studying, and bettering myself for this future time, because I could also die tomorrow. I want to actually enjoy myself as well. Like, I'm willing to do all that, don't get me wrong. But there's also a time where I can sit down and do this podcast with you, someone that I call a really good friend, and try and inspire people as well. Like, why can't I do a little bit of everything?
Yeah, legit.
Some things do have to sacrifice, but, you know.
And that's the thing as well, Kieran, to further expand on that, Kieran talks about, you know, healthy habits. And you know, taking breaks, but taking healthy, you know, planned breaks, in terms of like, if you figure out you need a break tomorrow, that's fine, but have some sort of idea of when you're going to end that, when you're going to get back to the things you need to do, but enjoy your time. And still, even when you go back, enjoy your time. It's not to say like get your head down in the weeds 24/7. And that feeds into what Max was saying as well, is, you know, you don't know what life has in store for you.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to be prepared to take the highs and the lows, you know, and if something big happens tomorrow, you just have to be prepared for it, you know, and having those breaks is one way that you prepare yourself. You readjust, you calm down, you get your focus back, you know, you get back into the rhythm of your life and, all right, I just need some time off. Let me just get myself right. All right, what's next?
And How
do we move from this?
I did that for a couple of weeks. You've done it for a couple of weeks. Sometimes you just got to take a step back and go, oh, shit. This is kicking my ass right now. But all right,
this
I'll
is
take
got
a
me
chill
down.
pill. I'll figure a few things out and then just come back. And you don't even have to come back stronger. Just come back. That's all it is. Because you'll get that strength. You'll gain that strength back. It's just come back. That's all it is.
And that is what every single guest talked about in their own unique story. So PJ talked about his breakup with his girlfriend, right? And, you know, how he just wanted to spend months in his room, just alone, talk to no one. Food dropped off at his room like he's sick with COVID or something. Or, you know, in quarantine, right? And, you know, he had his time where he was like super sad and life is hard. But he snapped back from it. You know, he took that time off. David, chest injury, you know, heartbreaking. You're living out your dreams, playing at a club where you're like, okay, look, I have a chance to make it big in football, you know, and, you know, taking time to recover from that and get right mentally again. Lucas, having to deal with the pressure of people not believing in him and, you know, wanting him to succeed and having friends or people in his life that he thought were friends being like, oh, well, you don't really deserve that. And stuff like that, was able to bounce back from those mental challenges. Max, ruptured esophagus. Damn.
I cannot not laugh at that. That's just the weirdest shit. Like,
no, legit, it's weird. It's weird. But this kid ruptures his esophagus and he's getting back on top. Kieran wanted to, you know, go pro with Muay Thai. Created Muay U. He bounced back. He did, you know, he readjusted and said, well, this isn't going the way I want it to go. This is what life has thrown at me. But, hey, I can still work in this same domain. I can still contribute. I can still provide. I can still build community. I can still provide value to the community around me.
Yeah,
and so all those, you know, unique stories, it's the same consistent theme. And this is why we share these stories, is so that you can see, hey, these people have different challenges.
Yeah.
But the way they overcome it is all the same. It's all the same, you know? Exactly. And they'll have different techniques. They'll have different amounts of time that they'll need because we're all unique. And me and Ben understand that what you might be going through now or what you've been through, we might have never been through something that big. No one's taking that from you. But what we're trying to say and encourage is, hey, it's all right. You know, listen to our podcast, listen to the stories of other people. And as I was even saying in episode 1 is sometimes when I'm thinking about like stuff that's gone on in my world and I'm like, wow, that was hard. That was difficult. I just remember what Ben's told me about some of the youth people that he works with. I'm like, wow, you know what? Actually, it might not be that bad. Do you know what I mean? Because you've got to
that's funny you mentioned
things into
that,
focus.
Actually. Yeah, it's really funny you mentioned the comparison. Like, I was speaking to one of my friends 2 days ago, and I made sure I remembered this because it was fucking key. And he goes, man, I took this girl out on a date, and she left halfway through the date because she just didn't want to be there. And he's just like, that's ruined my confidence. It's broke me. It's destroyed me. Like, how am I ever going to do that again? And I just thought about it. I was like, is that actually a big deal to me if that happened? And then I was like, actually, it's irrelevant if it is because it's a massive deal to them. So then we started talking about it. And yeah, I saw how distraught it was for him mentally. And he's never really gone through anything like that in life where, to be fair, he's been quite lucky with obstacles that he's overcome. Like, he's had strong networks around him and, you know, he's quite a highly emotional person in the sense where he knows how to deal with it rather than reactive. But this is the first time he's ever reacted. And I was like, that was me when I'd get injured. That's me when I start hating a job and quit and go, oh, now what do I do? Similar emotions, but if that happened to me, I get 2 foods, 2 dinners. Like, you know, but to them, it's a massive deal. So it was comparing that. And yeah, it just got me thinking about what affects different people. Like, we've spoke about it heaps. And for somebody to go through something huge that we look back and go, dude, that's not even a big deal. But to them it is. So you have to appreciate for what it is. That's probably been the biggest thing over the past now 8 episodes that I've really had to dive in deep with. Like Max's story, there was heaps of, very massive things like a ruptured esophagus and knee injuries that I could take as an injury and understand that. But stuff like Lucas having FOMO, because, you know, like, he couldn't go do stuff. Again, isn't really a big deal to me because I've always been able to do stuff while doing whatever. So I've never had the chance to, like, miss out on stuff. So it was just comparing stuff that was relatable to me and stuff that I've never gone through. It's quite fascinating.
And you really get to see that, you know, different people have different challenges. And it's so easy to look at someone's life and say they have everything that I want. Why can't I just be like them? But really, they have their own challenges that they're going through because life is hard. You know, life is not easy. And I think we all know that. And I think we've all experienced some lows in our lives, you know, and sometimes we over-exaggerate how big something was. Sometimes we underestimate how big something was. That doesn't even matter. What we have to realize is your feelings are your feelings. You're allowed to feel things, but you can't allow yourself to be controlled by those feelings. You can't allow yourself to take your life off your path and your journey in terms of where you're trying to get to just because of a feeling. Yeah. Because feelings change. Exactly. You can't act on your feelings. You know, in terms of you can't make purely emotional decisions. I think I'll try and explain that better because what I've said is you can't act on your feelings. That can be a bit confusing. Definitely everybody acts on their feelings. I'm not saying that people don't. But what I'm trying to get at is do not make purely emotional decisions.
Don't make a decision in an emotional state. I think
you know, that's going to have a massive impact on your life and have negative consequences. So what we try and do is just slow things down and even use some of the tips that we've talked about on the show, like closing your eyes, just breathing. You know, there's meditation, and read a book. What I like to do personally when I'm struggling with stuff is I just like to go into a room, put my headphones in, lie under my covers, listen to music, and just, you know, that's what works for me. And so hopefully along the way as well, you found some tips from the different stories of what people have done that will help you. Something that really helps people as well when they're dealing with stuff is taking action. And sometimes when stuff has happened, you really feel like not doing anything. But if you even just do something small, like even go for a walk, sometimes it just gives you the presence and strength of mind to just be, you know what, this isn't too bad. I can get past this. We can move past this.
It's an hour to yourself. It's an hour to forget about the problems. It's an hour to...
And sometimes you need that.
Regroup. That's all it is. And I think that's a question I want to ask everyone is, have you found a tip or something to help you deal with stressful situations? And if there has been, please drop your comment. That's what I need. That's what I want to hear.
If there hasn't been, we will definitely get you more in season 2. Definitely will come up in season 2. And
ask us more. Like, ask us, when I broke up with my partner, how did you deal with that? Or when you got injured, how did you deal with that? Because there's also meditation might work for one, but it might not work for another. So going for a walk for me, when I was injured, didn't work because I was injured. I was hurting. So I couldn't bloody walk.
Although, when you tore your hamstring, you tried to just get up and play on.
Yeah. Yeah, I carried on playing. That was painful.
And during your recovery, you wouldn't stop just getting up. You were very active in your recovery. You did not want to just rest.
Yeah, I think that was stupid. But at the same time, I learned that mentally I am strong to get through pain, but I also need to be mentally stronger to sit the hell back and go, Ben, you're in pain. Stop being a dickhead. Like,
no, it's the same for me. Like when I got concussed,
so bad.
It's exact same. It's hard, it's hard to have that mental strength to be like, no, you need to sit down. You need to rest. You need to relax. Because you just, especially when, you've been on your drive and you're just so like keen to do what you do. You just want to keep going, go. You don't want any breaks. You don't want to stop. You don't want to calm down.
No.
You don't want to, And so you have to have that mental strength and be able to realize, okay, look, I do need rest actually now. Look, I actually do need time to yourself. And it's hard as well because another point is you might, have some negative self-talk to yourself where you're telling yourself you're lazy or you don't actually need rest. Those like internal mental battles that like, oh God, like I need to rest, but no, I shouldn't because it's just, look, just be more patient and forgiving with yourself. As I said, slow things down and really even try and understand your thoughts. And one thing as well is I try to do, instead of condemning my thoughts, I try to say, you know what? Actually, I am allowed to have these thoughts. But what we're going to do with these thoughts is we're going to try and pick the best action to take. So I might need a rest. My body's like really tired. I'm mentally tired. And I might be telling myself, you know what? Actually, you're just lazy. Like, why are you just, bruv, work.
Fight through it.
Yeah, bruv, as if, no, you're just weak, man. Why can't you just do, But what I
just get it done. Actually, come on.
Yeah, I'm allowed to have those thoughts. That's fine. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to let those thoughts make me feel bad about the rest that my body is really telling me that I need. How am I, it got to a point where I was in an interview, right? And some of the people I know that work with, some of the people that I work with will know this. I was in an interview. I have a cup of hot chocolate in my hand. And like, I'm sitting in a room and I'm like, is anyone else tired? Is anyone else feeling tired? I feel like really, really tired. I blacked out for like 2 seconds and I dropped my hot chocolate on myself. I just didn't even know what happens. And like the two people I'm with are like, why are you cleaning yourself? Like, clean, quick. It's going to like stay in your pants. And I'm just laughing because I'm like, bruv, honestly, I'm just tired. Like I should have just been resting. What am I doing? I'm just overworking myself. And so this is the thing as well that we're trying to share is it's not just you. It's us too. We're still on that journey as well, trying to learn, improve. And, we're just trying to share what we're learning as we're learning it with our audience and trying to get people who are doing the same. But it's not only just to encourage you to, get over and overcome challenges, but it's also to encourage you to keep going at what you're doing or try and work on finding what you want to do and try and work on finding the person and understanding the person you want to be and the person that can add value to this earth. What's your speciality? Do you want to get into politics? Do you want to be a ballet dancer? Do you want to be a backup singer? Do you want to be a movie writer? Do you want to be a podcast host? If you do, please let us know because actually we might want some more. No, I'm joking. But, just...
No, we don't need competition. Come on,
No, we don't need competition. Yeah. But start thinking about who do I want to be? 5, 10, 20 years or even, when I'm old. What do I want people to say about me? Or do I want people to...
Yeah.
What do you want your kids to say about... If you want kids, what do you want your kids to say about you? What do you want...
That's what Kieran said about...
To leave this world with.
The difference, like when you die, it's not about the money you have. Like, it's about actually having the people around you. And that is such a massive thing. Like, you want to leave a positive impact on this world. How do you do that? Forming meaningful relationships.
Yeah. And, that's what Kieran was saying as well. It doesn't have to be that you, exactly what you were just saying, man. It doesn't have to be that you made $500 million. If you want to party till you're 50 and that's the life you want to have, go for it. Do you know what I mean? But what you want to do is develop the confidence and the ability to be that person that you want to be. Person that's not for me. But if that's the decision that you've made with your life, go for it because you have to do what you have to do. But you have to also on that path just equip yourself with tools and resources that you can use and really utilize that will help you get to be that person you want to be, you know? So, for example, what I'm trying to say with that is sometimes when I'm having a bad day, I might be upset. You know what, actually? Listen to this podcast and I've heard Max talk about you can't change what life throws at you. These things happen, you know? And so I use that tool. You know, I use that sentence and I say, you know what, actually, I can't fight this. I can't change this. All I can do is accept this and then move on from this and get to where I'm trying to get to. So let me take my time to process this because, you know, people need time to process things, but let me also figure out, how do I get around this? How do I get past this? What am I going to do with this event? Am I going to make it and leave it as a painful memory? Or am I going to take this and say, look, this is a lesson I've developed. I'm actually now a stronger person. I'm now a more thoughtful person. One thing personally that I've been trying to work on recently is my patience. I suck at patience. I'm not a patient person. And anyone that's played football with me, I've talked about it before, definitely seen that side where just, you know, I want things now. Like I want, you know, people to improve quick. And, you know, in terms of like, if I'm in that same environment with you, I'm busting my ass to try and get better as soon as I can. And so if you're in a team with me, I want that improvement. Like I want to just improve and get to where I'm trying to get to. But one thing I'm trying to learn myself is sometimes you just need to calm down. Yeah. I'm talking to myself right now very directly. Sometimes, Emeka, you just need to calm down.
Do you want me to let you have a moment with yourself?
Yeah, just let me have a moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Go have your moment.
Sometimes, Emeka, you just need to calm down. Look, life is hard. And you're going to get to where you're going to get to. And you've achieved this, you've achieved that, you know. So sometimes take a look at what you've achieved and just calm down and say, look, you are trying. You are doing well. But keep going. And don't punish yourself, Emeka. Just be patient with yourself. And if that helps someone today, boom shakalaka, you know. Me and Ben have done what we're trying to do. Because it's not just you. It's not just you struggling. It's not just Ben struggling. It's not just me struggling. It's not just, you know, and it's not to say life is 24/7 a struggle. Definitely great moments. Definitely great moments I enjoy. But everybody does have those days where they struggle, and we are here to help you on those days. Definitely.
Well, I have a few questions to ask you, sir.
Me, personally?
There's nothing on this paper. I just want it to be dramatic.
Oh, I was like, bro, wow, okay, that's on the spot. But yeah, no, ask me some questions. See how I can answer.
So, I've mentioned 2 guests that we're going to have on season 2. If you could pick any human being to have on this podcast, who would you pick? Could be anybody.
Power. It's a powerful question. Any human in this world. Let me have a few seconds to mull this one over. There's one name that sticks out to me. I like him half the time, and I don't like him half the time. He's a football player.
I was about to say, dude, I'm on it with you anyway.
Oh, Paul Pogba is someone I would love to speak to. Yeah, but you know what I don't like about Pogba? He's like, how old is he? I think he's like 26, 28. But this guy tries to act like he's like some 20-year-old, like always trying to be the coolest kid in the room and stuff like that. It just annoys me sometimes. I'm just like, Pogba, like he tries a bit too hard sometimes to be that guy, you know? Yeah. In my opinion, that's just how it comes across to me.
That's fair.
But I do admire how he plays football. I do think he's a smart individual, but just there's some things as well I just really don't like about him. Like, but I do think he's misrepresented. And I just like to try and talk to people I feel are misrepresented or misunderstood to try and understand them for myself, you know, because I have these judgments, but I haven't met the guy, you know, he could be different. I've just seen snapshots of his life in, you know, videos and stuff. I'd like to know him better and try and understand, you know, because not so much now, but especially 2-3 years ago, my playing style, like matches his in terms of how I play football. Definitely with your dad, I've definitely changed my style of play because I wasn't playing centre mid anymore. But definitely, especially growing up, he was someone that I paid a lot of attention to and kind of modeled my game after his. So that's someone I would like to talk to. And I think he'd just have a lot of things to say about overcoming challenges and how he made it to the level he's at now, and I think it's hard for him because every second game it's like, we expect Pogba to do this, but then, if he doesn't get an assist a game, then he's scrutinized, but it's hard to get an assist a game. But anyway, I will turn that question back to you. Who would you like most in the world?
I was the one asking the question, so I didn't even think of an answer for it.
Oh.
So I didn't think you were going to give it back to me.
You put me
on the spot now.
Okay, fair. Well, if you have another question to ask me, you can ask me.
God, let me try and
I'm good at being on the spot, but you're not, so no.
Oh, mate, I'm just bad in general at the minute. All right. What can I don't know, There's heaps of people from different sports that I think would be incredible, but there's one name that I think I love is Paddy Mills. Just based on his background and an Aussie now living the high life in America. Obviously, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows right there.
Yeah, no.
So I reckon that's one person I'd love to have. Yeah, and it's a completely different sport to what we've had on the show as well.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, it's a great idea. We should get more basketball players on. That's actually great. Yeah.
If you're a basketballer and you want to have a chat,
hit my DMs or Ben's if you prefer the way Ben looks. I think that I don't look too bad. Or the page. Yes, that's why we have a page. No, I just wanted someone to message me, Ben. I'm just trying to make friends. Can I not make friends? God, it's not easy looking like this, trying to make friends.
Hey, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Do you want another moment to yourself?
I've had my moment.
You've had your moment.
Do you have any other questions for me, or was that it? Because you said questions.
I do. Right? Okay, so what's next on season 2 then? Give us one little tease.
Well, definitely. I kind of touched on it before, but definitely, I'll say one thing that I'm excited about: more travel. I think that. So basically, as well, with this season 2, I will touch on that a bit more. But we're gonna have more equipment and stuff. We're gonna have better resources, So one thing that we've had to do is because me and Ben, when we come up with stuff, we like to get into it. So we didn't think about like equipment. We didn't think about Can you hear that screaming?
Yeah. I think people are watching the UFC. Oh, that's on today. That's on today. God, I'm going to go close the door.
What? I was like, what is going on? Oh, is there a domestic?
I thought someone was getting 7 shades of shit beat out of them.
Yeah,
probably
gosh.
On the TV.
Yeah.
That reminds me, actually. I'm going to have a quick gaze and see what fight we're up to.
Fair. While you're doing that, I'll continue. So, we didn't think about equipment. We didn't think about resources. We didn't think about anything. We didn't think about even editors or anything, right? We were just like, let's get this out. Let's get content. We already have people we can get, et cetera, right? So one thing I'm more excited for is travel and better resources and equipment when we travel. That is one thing that I'm keen. So we'll be at different locations, talking to different people, and we'll just have... we've already had a little bit of that. Like, we've already traveled a bit to different venues and stuff like that, but we're just going to do that more and on a bigger scale. Like, we might be in Sydney, might be in Newcastle, might be, so I'm excited for that. Boom.
I think that's what I'm really keen for is the travel. Because it was a throwaway comment from both of us, actually, roughly at the same time. We both went, it'd be kind of cool if we actually went to Sydney for a weekend and knocked out 3 or 4 episodes. And then we both went, hang on a sec. Not the worst idea we've ever had. And then when we spoke to Hugh, he said that he'd be really keen on that. And then we could do some training while we're up there. Again, that's quite a cool thing. So, yeah, I think that's something I'd really like. And I think, because we know people overseas as well, there could be an opportunity where we go on a holiday and go do an episode while we're over there with someone. Again.
Just everything on a bigger scale. And one thing that I also want to touch on as well, I think we're going to have deeper conversations about masculinity and what it looks like. That's one thing we didn't get into too much in the first episode. We're just trying to understand our audience age, and just how people feel about different things. So we didn't get too direct on that because we don't want to just go deep way too fast, right? So we do have growing interest for that topic, and I think it is a touchy topic in today's times. I think people struggle with those types of conversations because people are kind of hard fast about what they believe it is. And, we're seeing that a lot of people, even in today's day and age, don't think that masculinity should even be called masculinity because it shouldn't have anything to do with men. And personally, I don't think masculine and feminine energy, I do not think that just because something is masculine energy, it has to be attributed to a man, or just because something is feminine energy, it has to be attributed to a woman. I think that's just in people's heads because both genders have both energies. It's just, I believe a male has more masculine energy, a typical male, and a typical female has more feminine energy. But you do definitely see some women with high masculine energy and some men with high feminine energy. And I'm not saying that is right or wrong, but what we're talking about is masculinity and what we think, the modern man, how the modern man is evolving because a typical man has higher masculinity, right? Yeah. So we're not trying to say that masculinity means men because different people have different situations, and this is a general statement, but it tends to be women that are raised more by their fathers that have more masculine energy. And sometimes
because they've been around masculine energy more than a feminine side of things as well. And you see a lot of guys who have been raised by a single mother as well have that emotional knowledge a lot more than an average man as well, because they've been around that environment. And that's okay because there's a lot of positives from both sides of things. So, and that's why I think as society, we need to be more inclusive as well, because be who you want to be. And that's all I'm going to say on that.
It's not about pitting the genders together. It's not about saying a man is better than a woman or a woman is better than a man. Both genders have very strong things that they provide to the world. Yeah. A female can have a baby. A man can't. So there's instead of making a competition and saying, well, I'm better, I'm a man, or I'm better, I'm a woman. Is that a good woman voice? I don't know. But you get the point, right? It's like we have to try and look at these things and say, instead of tearing one down to make one other look better, let's actually just look at one and give it the merit it deserves. Because, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing with like personality traits as well. For every plus, there is also a minus. And what we try and do is get balance, because if you have too much of one trait, it can then create a negative. And so that's one thing that I struggle with, for example. I'm very driven. I'm a very driven individual. But one negative of that is it often means that I'm ungrateful for the results that I've achieved, because I'm expecting myself to have achieved more. And that's something that then affects me mentally, because I might be achieving really well, but I'm like, no, I'm looking at other people's and I want to be that far ahead of other people. I might be this far at the top, and other people might be saying, that's amazing. But in my head, I'm thinking, no, that's not good enough. I should be here.
Look how I have a longer way to go.
Like exactly. It's a tough thing. It's the same thing. And so it's the same thing with masculine traits and feminine traits. Is just because a masculine trait might be really good, if you have it out of balance, it can actually become a negative. So for example, a masculine trait tends to be aggression. Aggression is sometimes necessary to protect people, in order to achieve some sort of influence in a conversation, in terms of if someone's saying, oh, well, I think that guy is really ugly. And you're like, hold on a minute. I don't like that. Let's not talk like that. So it can be used to regulate. But if you're over aggressive and, for example, like your girlfriend's telling you that she wants to do some sort of activity and you're saying, no, you can not do that, that's still aggression. But you see how one is really bad and one's like, okay, well, you just use that to regulate a conversation in order to create a good outcome. So it's important that we just have those conversations, and we'll dive deeper into that in season 2 as well, is what I'm excited about. But yeah,
definitely. Have you got any guests that you can think of that you're going to bring in?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, there's some musicians that I've got that will come on the show that I should probably let them know that we are, because we kept this end of season finale like quiet, so we didn't really let people know. So I probably should let our guests know that they might not.
Just let you know, everyone. This is the season finale.
Yeah. By the way, ta-da!
No.
Yeah. But musicians, footballers, I've got as well some public service employees, so government workers, if people aren't sure what that means, that also would like to have their say. That's all I'll say for now. I'm not going to say.
So you're not going to name and shame?
No, I'm not going to name and shame.
Wow.
No. Let's keep everyone, our audience, on their toes.
Yeah, well, look, I can't blame you. So I guess my third and final question. Do we have a date for season 2?
Maybe we do.
Because I don't even know the date.
Maybe we do.
Like, okay.
I do, but I got a rough idea. I'll obviously let you know.
When you do the episode.
I'll let you know.
Tell Ben again.
I'll let you know, but obviously, we're just going to keep it private for now, because things may change and stuff, and we just
definitely
Ben and I really want to make sure that we plan things out
more effectively. We want season 2 to be proper.
Yeah, like ta-da, we've got like some sort of like consistent product in terms of like intros, outros, in terms of what's next, in terms of extra content and, surprise content as well. We want to try and really hammer that. So we just want to try and work through some of those things to come up with, as we've repeatedly said, just a better product for our viewers, who we are very grateful for. Honestly, like, we're actually very grateful for the viewership that we've got. I think we've had over... Let me just take even a quick look, because it's actually honestly been a bit crazy, I think. Like, we just didn't expect it to be on such a big scale. But on what do you call it? I'm trying to have a look, sorry. Yeah, on Spotify alone, which we don't even... We're trying to... Okay, so if anyone's curious, we are trying to now get more people to watch on Spotify, just because now they've added videos to Spotify. But we've had over 400 plays on Spotify, which we just haven't been announcing much. Across 8 episodes is pretty good. Our main platform has been YouTube, but we also have... we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Google Podcasts as well. And so across everything, we've had well over 2,000 plays.
Blimey.
On all our episodes. That's news to me,
actually.
Which is just nuts.
Blimey.
We've got... we haven't done much to promote this and done much to get this out there, in terms of we've just kept it across family and friends for now. So very grateful. We've got over 3 weeks ago, we got 100 hours of watch time on YouTube, which is 100 hours. It was a lot of time. I don't know why you guys are watching us. We are boring. No,
but we kind of look funny, so that might help. That's why it's on YouTube.
They're probably trying to figure out, like, is he really that ugly? Like,
yeah,
when he moves his head
and everything, like,
God, let's just take one last look. Yeah, they're probably not even listening to us. They're like, God, these guys just look disgusting. Yeah, we've just had massive viewership. We've had so many new viewers as well, and it's been pretty good. So even just
I do love though
different videos.
We have people in different countries. That's the shocking part. We have people in Australia watching it. We have people in England. We had some random in China watching it.
Like, he loved it. Some people in Thailand, America, Russia. I don't know if I can say that now though, because that's tense environment. Canada, Netherlands, Spain, Sweden, Bulgaria. I forgot Bulgaria was even a country. And the Philippines. So, yeah.
That's so weird. That is so strange. Especially because we've probably never heard of half of these people. But as long as they're getting the desired outcome,
value,
of what we're trying to do. Yeah, the value of it. So, God, that's sick. Even I didn't know that. I knew we had people in England and Australia and China. That's it. But I didn't know all of that, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
So thank you, everyone. We will see you in season 2. It will be bigger. It will be better. Tell a friend. Send us a message. Say, well, Ben, you were great on season 1. Emeka, loved you, mate. We would really like that because honestly, it can be a bit lonely sometimes, and sometimes it's nice to just get some feedback. But we really appreciate you guys. We will see you guys in season 2. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. What else is it going to be, Ben? Informative as well.
Solid. That was all I was going to say.
Solid. It will be solid. It will be solid. I'll tell you one thing. It will be solid.
I will say it's going to be solid. But if you've made it to the end of this episode,
which you have,
I'm not going to lie, you better have.
Yeah.
We are funny. Like, that's all I bring to the table. If you want to be a part of this podcast, send us a message saying that you'd like to be a guest. Send us a message if you want to help out on our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, stuff like that. We want to grow. And if we can help you guys get experience in this field as well, please contact us. We'll all work together and we'll create something bigger. It may have just started as an idea over dinner between Emeka and I. But now look where it's led. Look at what we've accomplished already. So if you want to be a part of it, please let us know and we'll see how we can work together.
Even FeedSpot, they listed us as like the 17th best men's podcast in 2022. I was like, oh. All right.
Yeah, we're pretty cool.
Yeah,
pretty
that
good.
one, that's one of the ones where you just have to regulate your ego. I'm playing.
I can't believe we're only 17th. We're not like...
Yeah, I was like, God, I mean, like 17th out of 100. That's pretty ass. 17. Could at least put us like top 5. No, but to be honest, to have just started...
Tings Coming, we'll be there.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we had the least amount of episodes as well on that. I think the one... I think one had 11, and that was like 30-something, something like that.
Yeah.
To say that we only had 6 at the time or 7 at the time?
I think it's 6 at the time.
It was 6, wasn't it? Yeah, say we only had 6.
We've got a long way to go.
We're already 7.
Yeah.
That's solid. And Top had over like 100 and something, so...
Yeah.
Fuck.
Some people have been in this business for a while. We were rookies. Not anymore, though, because we finished season 1. So we're going to be... In America, they call it sophomores? for our American viewers.
think so.
Sophomores, dude.
Sophomore.
I don't even know what you call them, but yeah. Take care, everyone. We will see you in season 2. Ben, do you have any words you'd like to leave people with?
Big things coming.
Big things coming.
Big things coming.
I need you guys to say that anytime you're in a tough situation, anytime you feel like you're down on your luck, big things coming.
Next tattoo, big things coming.
Oh my days. Oh my days. You can
And that's
also
your next tattoo. Oh my days.
Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
days.
Oh my goodness.
Don't change a good thing. Oh my days.
All right, everyone. Take care. We will see you then. Goodbye.
Ciao, ciao.